All right, guys, thank you for sitting through the power rankings thus far. Actually, I don't know how many people will sit through the whole thing. But if you have, congratulations. I know Mike has, because he's probably going to be editing and fiddling around with all this stuff. So we have reached the very end. The only teams left are the creme de la creme, the cream of the crop, the cocks of the walk.
There you go.
The kings of the room, the sultans of swing.
You can stop now.
Okay. Thank you.
You veered into different sports analogies.
It was just cricket. Number 7, Amsterdam. Ranking may be skewed to the fact that he has the second highest rated goalie in the league. Jimmy Howard is an 86?
That's deeply upsetting. But
I don't.
A few things here. Off camera.
Start us off.
First of all, off camera, Eric learned the might of one of the faucets in my house.
Shocking.
It's weird.
I feel assaulted.
I don't know if it's like modern art or plumbing. I can't tell.
Either way, it will frighten you.
I'm haunted.
The Admirals have too many players.
Yes, they do.
They are currently in violation of the SICHL CBA.
Yeah, and not just by a little bit.
They have 7 players too many. So I'm willing to put this out there that I'm willing to take on Mr. Howard and his bizarre
That's
rating.
generous.
That's so nice of you.
Oh, what a guy. He's a giver.
Are you hearing this, Kenny?
So Kenny, if you need say
really
3
nice.
more NHL defensemen, I have them, and I'm willing to take Howard.
Jimmy Howard. You don't want Jimmy Howard. He's not that good.
He's
Save yourself the trouble. I hear he kicks puppies.
Oh, that's so terrible.
more of a cat.
You have to trade him now. Big news from the Admirals. They traded Stamkos.
Gutsy.
Big move.
Gutsy
I've
move.
not seen Stamkos.
Well, he's seen him. Past tense.
He's seen him, and he's
seen
seen
him.
what he saw.
He's seen him go. But he may have known something because I think a week after this trade, Stamkos breaks his leg.
Kenny, where were you that day? I hope you have an alibi, buddy.
I don't want to know.
This is getting scary.
To me, this is a team with an absolutely stacked goalie
And defense.
no backup. Defense
Crazy defense.
Defense is strong. So this is the Hamburg model from last year,
Yep,
and they are very, very light on scoring.
Oh, yeah.
Very light. Can this team do damage? We know they're going to make playoffs.
They have one player, one player with scoring over 70. Alex Chasen, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
What?
He doesn't look rated well enough to even crack the lineup, though.
Wait a minute. How does Patrick Sharp have a 66 scoring?
Well, that makes no sense. But
And
still,
Bobby Ryan has a 60.
The point stands.
Bobby Ryan has a 68. Okay.
Yeah.
So
He got a little bit screwed.
Amsterdam's going to have a really tough time scoring. Matt, you think they're too highly rated. I may agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
After a sober second thought, we know they're going to make playoffs. Can they do damage in the playoffs on the world side?
I mean, anybody with a goalie like that.
Yeah. Defense wins championships.
Yep.
But I personally don't think that's particularly likely. But I mean, who knows what happens over the course of the season? I think this is still a really good team. For me, I don't know if it's the 7th best team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. I may agree with that. I have a soft spot for the Admirals because I know the Admirals and the Gladiators didn't even basement dwell. We cemetery dwelled in the World Conference for many, many years.
Oh, yeah.
Like the worst
I
of the
remember that I
worst.
came into the league and the Admirals were an absolute laughingstock. I took my tanking model from them. Jason did a very good job of it back in the day.
Yeah.
That's where I got Stamkos from in the first place.
That's true.
Yeah.
So maybe he was jealous of my success. No, I think he's going to do well.
He the door quickly, didn't he?
Yeah. I think he's going to do well. Maybe not as well. If he wants to go the route of trading Howard, he will get a
King's ransom.
He really will. It depends. I mean, if he wants to be competitive with an 86 goalie, he very well could. I got to the finals last year with a crummier team than this, and I had an 84 goalie. If he wants to trade a competing team, an 86 goalie, he's going to get a lot. I don't know what he's going to get, but to me, an 86 goalie for a team that's interested in winning now, first round pick and a very, very highly touted prospect, easily.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I'm going to just slightly tweak my last comment about the scoring.
Okay.
They have Brent Burns on the team, who's listed as a defenseman but can play forward.
No way.
And he's a 75 scorer.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
some interesting potential there with the power play because they can put him as a forward, play him on the forward lines at even strength, and then drop him back onto defense
For the power
play units.
Interesting. Plus, when he grows his hair out, he looks like a Wookiee.
That's true.
He's a hairy man. Did you comb your hair when you went to the bathroom?
No.
Mike,
Yes, you did.
Mike, at this point, this would be the perfect opportunity to edit in a picture of Brent Burns next to a Wookiee over just a screen overlay. I don't want to backseat drive your editing or anything, but
I don't actually know how much Mike is going to edit this. I hope he bleeps out the swear words, though.
Yeah,
We promised him
fingers
we wouldn't
crossed.
swear. But I swear to you that we're going to move on. So after the Admirals, we have very interesting
team.
The Spartans,
This is a fun one.
Sean's team, the St. Louis Spartans. There were very few teams that were as interesting to me last year as the St. Louis Spartans.
Because
They would
Sean is
go
a
up
guy.
and down all the time.
he's a guy who's not afraid to make a move.
No, he makes
Him and
moves.
Dustin
his-
are just
What-
insane when it comes to making those trades. I love it.
What do you guys think about the Spartans, Matt? Let's start with you.
I think this is a team that benefited a little bit from some weird re-rates.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah? Do tell.
Well, Mr. Bowmeister.
Oh, he's got a punishing defense. Holy cow.
He's great every year. He's along those same lines as Dion Phaneuf.
He's also
the
got-
sim re-ratings always reward guys who have high ice time. Which is,
okay.
that's what I banked on when I acquired Ryan Suter. I know he was going to play just insane minutes in mini, so
Yeah,
I figured that would
it's
work out.
difficult for me to comprehend. Jay Bowmeister's a 75 overall. John Carlson's a 74.
Yeah.
John Carlson's a 74 overall.
Yeah, that's and with 85 defense. That's the really puzzling thing about that. 'Cause he's an offensive guy.
So his starting four defense all have 80 plus DF
Yeah.
and 70 plus OV.
Yeah, and then even their bottom pairing, Pitkin and Polak.
This team is going to be impossible to score against because they've got an 85 goalie in Anthony.
and a 74 backup. I mean, and Brian Elliott is nothing to sneeze at. His durability is low, and his let's see here, and some of his other stats are a little on the low side too. So he's better than that 74 indicates.
So we may have to rethink the top teams in the World Conference.
Yeah.
Unless their forwards are awful and they're
Well, they're not. That's the
They're
thing.
not.
And you know what? They've even got some strong center depth too.
Yeah.
I thought initially maybe not, but
Kessler with a 98 face-off rating. Yeah.
Well, exactly. Ryan Kessler
Phil
can,
Kessel.
he can take a draw.
Kessler's 78 scoring seems a little low to me. But
Especially given the loopholes, like a billion scoring.
it doesn't actually make sense. Do we have to consider St. Louis a top 3 team in the World Conference?
I think they could be.
Because how about this? They have the Riders. We were saying the Riders were going to be a top 3-4 team.
Yeah.
St. Louis has an equitable goalie and a much better overall lineup.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a good point. I think they are absolutely in that discussion.
Yeah.
I don't know if Chris Kunitz can score without Sidney Crosby.
Can barely
I
score
don't think the
with
Sim's
him.
going to care particularly.
Don't get me started. Cooney's gotten better in the last month or so.
Is Cooney an appropriate term?
The Coon.
Okay.
That's a different kind of inappropriate.
Raccoon.
Still.
Like from South Park.
Uh-huh.
Oh, because
Let's
that's his
move along.
nickname.
Let's
Okay,
move
whatever.
along. Yep.
Apologies.
Well, I mean, Logan Couture's nickname is Cooch, so that's...
Let's call him the Cooch.
There we go.
Okay, well, St. Louis, very interesting team. Keep your eye open out for them. Let's move on. Eric, who do we have next? We're going top 5.
I can't say
Top
it. You know what?
All right, Guy. All right,
Give him his
you
due.
have a good team. You're a very good GM. Now that we got that over, can we find anything bad about the Golden Bears?
They have a lot of really funny-looking
They have
players.
really good goalie. They have what?
Funny-looking players.
They have funny-looking players.
Have you seen Dustin Bufflin lately?
He's a bit of a.
He's a stout fellow.
He's
shall we
big.
say?
He's always been big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Laddie,
I can't
I can't make fun of.
Come on,
I can't make fun
just
of
do it.
people that do this.
Come
I
on.
can't because he's got Ladislav Smeed. Your dad traded him. I was devastated. Oh God, his top 2 defensemen. He's got an insane amount of defensive depth.
Yeah.
First of all,
As always.
he's got great goalie depth.
And
Maybe a little light on scoring. No,
yeah, but he's got a crazy top player in closure there.
Yes,
Yeah,
he does.
And he's banking entirely on Giroux carrying
You know
that
what?
line by himself.
And this is a good year for
Which is
Giroux
fine.
to have a bad year in the NHL because
Look at that.
gonna-
He's on an expiring contract coming off.
I guarantee you he did that on purpose too. Guaranteed.
Well, with how does that work? With the new rules, can't they re-sign for their previous contract if they get a lower rating, right?
Oh, is that
so
what it
he's-
is?
So we would have to qualify him to.
Oh, okay.
In order to,
So he's still worth $7 million.
and I mean, somebody will
for
get
sure.
the 3.
So we'll see how that goes for him.
Are the Golden Bears a top 5 team in the league, Matt?
Tough to say. I mean,
Yeah.
the defense is amazing. The goaltending depth is really there. The forwards, I mean, you can't play Claude Giroux on all four lines.
Yeah.
No.
And on both PKs and both PPs. So, I mean, the forward depth, especially offensively, isn't really there.
Right.
But I mean, I think
Jordan Eberle's better than that rating indicates.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the defense, the goaltending will carry them a long way.
Make me want to throw up and look how many draft picks he's got.
It's
well, so this raises an
this is a discussion that Matt and I had the other night.
Okay,
so Guy has a really big problem right now because he currently is sitting.
He has 100.
He's sitting at 100 assets.
Okay,
exactly.
And he has somewhere around 20 draft picks in the next year. So sometime between now
and then another like 12 to 15 in the following year.
So sometime between now and this time next year, he has to shed 20 of his current assets.
And he's had to do this now a couple of times. We see at the end of the year he does this massive package deal for that third rounder or something like that.
Okay, interesting. I guess maybe good problem to have, but in this case maybe not.
Well, I mean, if GMs would perhaps notice that they're just giving away something to Guy when he's going to have to give it up
anyway.
We're on to you. Happen.
Yeah, we're on to you.
But it's a great system because what Guy successfully has done each of the past 4 or 5 years is he buys himself as many lottery tickets as he possibly can.
Yeah.
He waits until the draw is more or less over, and then he shuffles them off at usually 50 cents on the dollar if they don't pay off. And if they hit, hey, you have the building blocks for the phenomenal franchise we see in front of us.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good point. We've seen that he knows what he's doing. He knows his prospects better
16
than
16-0.
16-0. So I really don't think. I mean, I don't want to call it a fluke because I don't think it. Put it this way: if I had to wager before that any GM would go 16-0, he would be easily one of the top 3 or 5 that I would guess. He just knows his stuff. Yeah. So,
but if I have to hear one more time or read one more time on his Twitter feed about how good Jacob True is, I'm gonna be sick.
I don't have him on Twitter.
You're lucky.
I should get everybody. on Twitter. Guy, I'm still gonna add you on Twitter. Don't worry. I would say the Golden Bears are going to make playoffs. Look for some
Tristan
trades.
That's another one. Holy.
Oh yeah.
Good pick, but my God, every other tweet this year. Come on, mix it up a little bit, buddy.
Do it. We're getting irritable now.
Yes, we are.
Probably getting talking about the Golden Bears. It is getting late. Okay, well let's move on then. Now we're getting into the real stars of the show. Edmonton Supersonics.
This is a very interesting one. I'm surprised they're this high.
Yeah.
Not that I have anything against them, but they just have. I mean, they're getting by on depth clearly.
Oh yeah,
look at that forward depth.
Their goalie depth is really, really good.
Good platoon there with Miller and
Schneider. Schneider may be a little low rated at 79, maybe. Good defensive depth. So yeah, this is probably. Yeah. There are probably 3 teams that I was totally out to lunch on in terms of the rankings. This might be one of them.
I actually don't think so.
No, you think they're good?
Depth is very valuable.
Well, that's why I put them number 3.
So it's
wait, 4 or 3?
It's an extremely deep team.
4, sorry.
Across forwards, defense, goaltending.
And
they don't have any of whatever the heck it was that you were playing on your 3rd and 4th line last season.
I was. And
who did you play at your 4th line center?
It was probably like Craig Smith or somebody.
Yeah, something like
that. I think Craig Smith was like a 3rd line.
Or Tengrady or something. Oh man. Don't discount depth either. Like I know sometimes it's good if you look at some teams and they'll say like, well, their top 2 or 3 are really good. Injuries happen all the time, as we know, and a critical injury to your goalie. Don't think it can't happen, even with a high durability rating, can absolutely finish a team. Like if you look at Reykjavik or teams that are like Amsterdam, totally banking on their top raise. If they get injured at the wrong time or they trade them or whatever, then the rankings can be totally thrown for a mix. With that, so with that said, injuries and stuff like that, Edmonton can weather the storm.
It's a super solid team.
Yeah.
Like I see this team is built in a way that it's going to give any team on any given night a bit of a problem.
Wait a minute, Mike and Mark are rated 3 and 2? Or no, 4 and 2. 4 and 2. 4 and 2, yeah. Okay.
Insider trade.
Yeah, we just spoiled.
Way to go, buddy.
Again.
Really. Again! These are my rankings.
It's supposed to be the professional.
They're not going to spoil. There's going to be the big list of rankings right next to the videos. They're going to see.
somebody was going to be excited to
Some
let it
people actually
unveil.
watch like the countdown and like
Here's an aside for you.
I
This
should've
is,
put-
this
I
is
should've
how
put
much I
it
believe
on.
in this. When I was in Paris in May,
Yeah.
Henry posted the podcast for the end of season power rankings,
Mm-hmm.
and I sat there with my little smartphone and listened to it for an hour and a half in our apartment in Paris instead of going out and wandering the streets
With your wife.
with my wife. That's
I
right.
would not necessarily
I don't recommend that.
But that,
And that's probably more
Because
a
Kathleen-
testament to my own sickness than Henry's broadcasting skills. But
I would say that Kathleen could not give you the level of SICHL discussion that I can.
I would agree with that.
That being said, I'm not going to have sex with you.
And she did give me the jersey.
It's pretty good. Happy wife.
a good one.
Yeah, so Mike, good job. Team looks really, really good. That Miller-Schneider combo is envious for sure.
Suspect that will pay dividends this year.
Does he have Miller next year? Because Miller is going to be an 85.
He is a UFA.
New topic. How much is Ryan Miller going to go for in free agency next year?
Oh, franchise.
Oh, is it franchising?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
How could you not?
That's a good point. Okay.
Assuming that he hasn't already overcommitted himself, but Mike is a smart GM. I don't think he would have.
No.
And I don't see the FPs.
Mark, not fun. All right, let's keep
Yeah,
going. We're near the
moving right
end. Number 3.
Well, this is a fun team.
Holy cow.
This is last year's
no.
sim breaker right here. The London Monarchs.
Man, London.
Michael.
Mike, your team is so crazy. No, here's the scary thing. Here's the scary thing about London this year is last year everybody knew what was going to happen. They were going to score 1 billion goals and they had no goaltending. This year they're going to score 1 billion goals and they have very good goaltending.
They got a very solid platoon plus a good third actually.
Which they're
Which
probably
is
going to lose in
really
the waiver
scary.
draft.
Nope, because he's under 25.
Oh,
Yeah,
he is.
yeah.
So,
So keep laying around that
He
fun
has
team.
3. I think he's the
Yeah.
only team in the league that has 3 goalies 75 and up.
I'm sure.
Almost guaranteed. Most
Yeah.
teams only have 2 goalies that are 70 and up.
Some of us only have one goalie rated.
That's
75.
right. I'm still trying to.
I have a backup that's
News
66.
alert, folks. If by this point I haven't already acquired a decent backup goalie, Schooners are open for business.
Hey, that's not what this podcast is for.
It is now, damn it!
No, it's not. All right, so what do you guys think?
Phillips is also available.
You've been trying to trade him for 10 years. What do you guys think
If I
about?
wants it, stop offering.
What do you guys think about London and?
It's just like that Russian top line is just ridiculous. Ovechkin and Kovalchuk are the 2 highest rated forwards in the game, and then Malkin
Which is nonsense
rounds things
as
up.
a side.
It is nonsense, but still, it's
Malkin has a 97 passing, so you put that with somebody who's a
Ovechkin
96
is a 96
scoring.
scorer, and then Kovalchuk has a 92 puck handling. So they each specialize in one of the 3 main offensive stats. And between them, their skating, they're all 91, 97, 97, and then 280 strengths. So you're not taking the puck off those guys. And Ovechkin can even check, too, which is cool. So
Yeah, his team is absolutely.
the only thing on that top line is that Malkin's faceoffs was only 79 and his strength 70. So he's not going to be great on the draw.
Right. Okay.
But that's it. That's the only critique for that top line.
That's it. Matt, any glaring weaknesses that we
Crazy.
can see in the Monarchs? Is there any reason that they won't be the top team in the world? In the World Conference.
Yes.
Not in the world. The World Conference.
The team is straight up terrifying.
Yeah. Who do they have in defense?
Well, let's get to that then. We got
Oh,
Seidenberg and Beauchemin.
Ow!
Yeah.
What?
I know. They've got very strong.
So they're starting-
Their top 5 defensemen all have 80 plus defense, with the top pairing being 85 and
Did you see that?
86.
Yeah, I mean,
No puck handlers though. That's worth noting.
Okay.
well, fortunately, they have a couple guys up front who can probably
Probably cycle it all right.
Um,
yeah.
I think it's one of those teams that sort of has the defense core isn't great name wise, and frankly, some of these guys have ratings that I can't remotely fathom
Yeah.
in any way. But
Right.
That's the
it's-
E model of defense.
It's
right?
the world we live in.
Yeah.
And
New World Order.
I mean, these guys are going to win a lot of games, and they're not
Yeah.
going to lose very many.
London.
Those 2 things go together.
Yeah, the only teams that really, I mean, their starting goaltending
Wow.
is, I guess, their only like quote unquote weakness, and that their starting goalie is an 80, and if they play an equally stacked team with an 85 or an 80, something like that, they might run into some troubles. But there was
And
I
no
don't-
team can score like them.
no, I don't want to bet. I would never bet anything on SICHL, but I would be absolutely floored if London was not top 2 in the world by a healthy margin by the end of the season. I mean, they really have no reason not to succeed. Their goaltending depth, I mean, even against good teams, like let's say in the playoffs, when they play a team with like a very good goalie, very few teams have like a mid-80s goalie and then a very good backup.
Yeah.
He has 80, 79, 75. So not only can
Not
he
gonna be an
compete
issue.
every game, which a lot of teams can't, he can suffer an injury and still be pretty safe. The reason I beat Norm last year was that not only would I rest, Mike Smith, he only played games 1, 3, 5, and 7.
But he won those games.
He won those games, but I rested like all my
Yeah.
starters in games 2, 4, and 6. But again, it doesn't matter.
You
It's about
fought
winning.
through those games.
I had to.
You threw 'em
It was
hard.
the only way I was going to win that series.
And you won a couple of them too, didn't you?
What's that?
Didn't you win one of the
No,
games?
Philly was game 7.
Was it? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I knew that was the only way I'm going to win.
So
So
really maxed out your revenue that year. Holy.
yeah, I was lucky. I low paid all the way into the finals. Again, very lucky.
Yep.
The Michaels team has no reason not to make it to the finals.
Yeah.
To be honest, if you had to pick a world team,
I
this
bet
is
them.
this is
for
it.
sure.
Guaranteed. Yeah, their scoring is lethal. Malkin, Ovechkin, and Kovalchuk have a chance to get 150 points plus each.
Yeah, could be.
again.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Just
Because he's going to be playing them 25, 30 minutes a night.
with Kovalchuk. How does that work next year?
Well, he's
gone.
done regardless.
He's
He's,
just
a
not
UFA,
rated?
so
But will he be rated?
well, he's not playing this season. So he
That's
won't
what I
play
mean.
next
Yeah, in
year.
the NHL, it doesn't
Yeah,
work for
so
other
that's
leagues
it.
or anything like that.
Nope.
Okay, so if Michael's going to win, it should be.
It's
it's
for
the-
sure.
it's the no?
And on those lines, he doesn't have a heck of a lot coming up in the way of youth.
Okay.
He's got a few kids who are rated already, like Tyler Toffoli and Stephanato and
Right.
Vidensky and Kunackle, but that's about it for the kids.
Mhm.
And then prospect wise, really, I'm sure he'll probably have a few sentimental favorites there, but Nikita Filatov is no longer a viable prospect.
Sure.
Beyond that, he doesn't really have much of a pedigree down there.
So, Matt, this
he's
is
built to win.
This is a win now.
Yeah, this is a
100%.
win now, and I think is a very strong team, and in
Yeah.
fact, is a team I personally think is stronger than the number 2, which you have already previously spoiled.
Interesting. I have
I
spoiled
would
it.
agree.
Okay, so moving on. Number
Yeah.
2, our reigning champions.
Mhm.
Congratulations, Mark. The Fredericton Express with their new fancy logo.
It is very nice, I have to say.
It is a nice logo.
I'm
The
impressed.
champs last year were from beginning to end the best team in the league.
Yep, why not?
I don't think they lost a game until
It was an
over
insane
half
streak.
the season.
Until yours truly came along.
Take that, Mark. You already won like 100 games in the regular season and the championship, but you lost to this guy
Yeah.
once.
How's it feel?
It's gotta feel terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about the Express, man.
The Express are a really good team.
Understatement of the century.
No, saying Winnipeg is a good team is theirs.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, come on,
That
that's just a
Express-
elimination.
yeah, they know what's
okay,
coming.
no spoilers there.
yeah.
Yeah, but there's no weaknesses anywhere on the team.
Mhm.
Right.
Good defense, depth. Another good goaltending tandem, although not quite as dominant as what they put out last season.
Yeah.
Plus they
That was
have
ridiculous.
Brizgalov, so I don't know if that's going to create some sort of like simulator curse on the franchise.
His new favorite team.
All I know is that the universe is very big and we are very small.
That's true. Humongous big.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bears.
Yeah, and if there's any bears wandering around, not good. But yeah, it's a good team. They don't have the same punch up front that some of the other big name franchises
Yeah,
do.
this team's not going to
But
go
at the same time-
72-3 and whatever they went last year. I think they're going to be slightly lower.
Yeah.
But
But they also have a bit more scoring down the charts. Like
Yeah.
a solid second line there.
really good starting
And
centers.
even a
Eric
good
Strom,
scoring
Backstrom.
third line with like Letestu and Lucic, Hudler. Those guys can put up some points on the third.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah,
They
there's no.
don't. If I'm to criticize, their defensive forwards are also their scoring forwards, which in my
okay.
experience leads to very tired forwards.
Yeah,
Because
that's
you
a good
do
point.
at some point have to bench somebody and put some of
them on
those,
the PK
those
and
third and
stuff.
fourth line guys on the penalty kill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that
special
could be
teams
interesting.
may not be as
Yeah,
dominant as the
and
rest of their-
especially in our compressed schedules that we always run, could be interesting. You could
Yeah,
have
do you
some
guys? I want to mention the
wingers.
schedule again. I know what this is sort of a game changer because I was looking at my all-time records and Chris Mason. I know, Chris Mason holds my record for all-time games played in the season with 72.
What was
a
this,
lot of games.
1974?
This was about 3 years ago. So this was not that long ago. So now with the compressed schedule and the fact that goalies get tired and players get tired more frequently, depth it plays a bigger role.
Oh, yeah.
So in a way, the Express are very deep, but they sort of all their players are all specialized together.
Yeah.
So their bottom six may not be able to.
Pretty ineffective, right?
Again, we're sort of
third line scores, but
Yeah.
they don't play defense very well.
So we're sort of nitpicking, right? I mean, Express are overall. I mean,
They're
my rankings, they're number 2. They're a loaded team, but against maybe the higher end teams like London and Winnipeg, could run into some trouble. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I find special teams. That's something I built for last year.
Me too. Oh yeah, that's the only way I scored was on the power play. Yeah. Okay, so Mark, congratulations, very good team, and best of luck to you this year.
Mm-hmm.
And again, huge thanks for all the work you do, guys. Be nice to Ramesh. He's great. And the number 1,
ring it in.
If this team,
moment of respect here.
If this team had a good backup goalie, then I would say give them the cup right now.
Yeah.
Winnipeg Falcons are your number 1 ranked team, and this was not even close. With my rankings, I submitted a score and ended up being in the couple hundreds for almost everybody. And from rank number 20 to 2, there was a difference, I think, of maybe 17 points or 16 points or something like that. Winnipeg is 6 points ahead of Winnipeg, or ahead of Fredericton as number 2. So it's all really, really, really close, and then Winnipeg is that much better than the second highest ranking team. They have the number 1 offense, the number 1 defense, and the number 1 ranked goalie in the entire league. Number 1.
Ridiculous.
Their weakness is they don't have a backup goalie. Henrik Lundqvist is an 88, so we're talking before about how some teams are not going to be able to beat Reykjavik because they have an 85 goalie. Winnipeg has an 88 goalie and the best offense and the best defense in the league.
Yeah, it's gross.
Can anyone beat Winnipeg?
Just to put, look, I've been looking at their defense since we started talking about the team, and just to put it into context, this is a team whose 9th best defenseman by overall rating, Bryce Salvador, is a captain in the NHL.
And he has an 85 DF rating.
Yeah. Nobody's going to score on this team.
It's just wrong.
I literally don't think anyone can actually score on this team, against this team.
Chris Letang has a 99 passing.
That's
not after this year.
No,
he's not.
But cash in on this one.
So Winnipeg's. So let's So we've talked about the defense. Let's look at their forwards because I really want to hammer home how scary Winnipeg is. They've got a ton of. They're scoring. They don't have sort of an outrageous scorer, but again, they also have
it's all there though. That's the thing.
Like their overall rankings are very, very solid. They don't have maybe London's offensive capabilities, but they still have a ton of great passers. A
second line of Iginla, LeCavalier, and Hossa.
Just imagine if this was 2004.
I would like that team.
Crazy.
Okay, so
they do have some of that defensive specialization that I touched on.
Yeah.
Jay McClement, Steve Ott, Ryan Smith. Those guys are all really, really good penalty killers.
Craig Adams has an EDF.
He can take some face-offs in the penalty kill.
If there's any weakness in the Falcons, if you can call it that, because they're easily the best team in the league right now. If Lundqvist goes down with an injury, that's pretty much all the Canadian teams can hope for. Because again, we've seen how hard it is to score against a high-ranked goalie, like me last year, for example. This team has, I think, 8 players with an 80 DF rating and up, and an 88 goalie. So really, their only weakness is backup. So will Michel be looking for a backup goalie?
I can't imagine he wouldn't at this point. The other question though is, does he have the chips to acquire one?
Okay,
because they're expensive this year. Everybody seems to keyed in on that.
Sure. What's their payroll?
Their payroll. Glad you asked. $100 million. By far the highest in the league this year.
Is anyone over 80?
There are a few teams over 80
but no one close to 100.
Nobody close to 100.
Okay.
And the other funny thing with them, so it's $100 million committed this year,
right?
56 into next year, but then only one player of any note signed for 3 years or more, and that's Zach Parise. He's on a 4-year, $6.5.
So Winnipeg
tons of flexibility after next season.
So Winnipeg is a win now.
They win this year. Yeah. Maybe they win next year, but they've still got a ton of UFAs going off the books.
It's so crazy. I mean,
this season or bust.
If I was
and
playing,
they have no prospects
if I was playing a team, you know what the crazy thing is though is their weakness is a backup. But if you have Henrik Lundqvist, who I imagine has a huge endurance rating, so you have Henrik Lundqvist has an 88, and you have this defense that's not going to let in a lot of shots. He may not even get tired.
Could be. It's entirely possible.
It's impossible, or it's possible that in the playoffs he could just play him.
It would be interesting to see.
2 or 3 games in a row.
Yeah, we haven't encountered that kind of storm in the simulation yet.
No.
Mark's team last year, well, I mean, their defense was crazy too.
He alternated his goalies for a little bit, but then he kept
playing Rene.
I think so. He stuck with one goalie actually for quite a few games. Yeah, Winnipeg. The fact that they were really good last year, and to be honest, like I thought the championship was determined basically on whoever won the Falcons Express series.
Yeah.
And I'm other than you. I think that series went to 7. I don't think the Express can compete with Winnipeg this year.
No, I agree.
No, gross team.
It's
just gross.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's
watch how it plays out.
Yeah. So that is.
So are we unanimous that we see this team as winning the Continental Cup?
I can't see anybody else. Maybe London, if for some reason Henrik gets tired or injured, then I could see London or maybe
with that nuclear offensive base.
Yeah, that's basically it.
That's
but like, I don't understand how anyone is even going to get through.
Yeah.
And the fact that they've got
such a solidly built team,
a very, very good team all around. They have to be my cup favorite right
team.
now. Yeah, absolutely. What about you?
I'm going London.
You're going London. I like it. Good. I want to have
mostly because I'm not really certain if they get challenged on their way to the finals.
That's a good point.
Whereas I think in the Canadian Conference, there's a few more teams who, in the right circumstance, if Lundqvist gets like one of those week-long injuries, somebody could knock them off.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to think some of my youngins might be able to take a chunk out of them on a good day.
You never know.
Yeah. I like Norm actually for this season.
You're going to go with Norm?
I'm going with Norm.
Good. I didn't want all three of us going for the same thing.
I like the Fire Ants. They're steady Eddie, man. They are steady every single year. He refuses to blow that team up, and why should he? Because he manages to keep drafting well in the mid to late.
Yeah. The magic list.
Yeah, that's right. That magic list. Just God, Norm, go pick up a true start.
No, don't help him. He's in my conference.
Reamer's not going to do it for him.
Don't listen to Eric. You don't want any of that. You should trade me good players. Cheap ones. I already overpaid. So there we go. That is the entire power rankings from teams number 28 to number 1. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, before we sign off? We've had a few final thoughts, so maybe we should wrap it up. But again, I'm really excited.
Particularly,
I'm really excited about this season. We're already in preseason. I want to get that over with. I want to get the waiver draft over with. I know Mark does too. And we should start the regular season in probably a week from today or so, and then we'll see the first batch of the power rankings. So again, huge thanks to everybody. Really, the league is better when everybody gets involved. I really like everybody in the league. Sam, we're really excited to have you. Again, guys, please comment on the power rankings. Let's see a lot of those press releases about other teams so you can get additional coin. And I promise you will get more out of the league if you sort of pay attention to other teams. And I was guilty of that for a very long time by sort of just focusing on mine. So just helps the community, helps our league be better if everybody's involved and interested. So thanks to you, and I think that's it. Anything else?
I lost to the Falcons in a shootout in exhibition.
Hey, good job. Nice.
Very exciting.
Yeah, no, that's good. Did they have their lineup in?
Yeah, looks like it.
Nice. Can I change my vote?
Oh no. Yeah, it was pretty much the team.
King Henrik in net?
Yep.
Nice. Okay. Well, there you go. All right. Well, that is it. And good luck, everybody, in the season. Hope you have fun. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for sticking around.